This is James Bond's tux?
Yeah.
So I have to get married in James Bond's tux.
Matthew Perry, the unforgettable actor synonymous with his role as the witty Chandler Bing on the iconic sitcom Friends, has left a lasting legacy that extends far beyond his on-screen character. As we grapple with his passing on October 28, 2023 at the age of 54, our hearts are heavy, yet there's a compelling draw to uncover the layers of his life, especially in light of his candid memoir released almost a year to the day before his death. In this video, we aim to highlight the top 7 key revelations from his book. Join us as we count down the most significant moments and reflections shared by Perry in his last written work. Matthew Perry's celebrity crushes. Back in 1990, a young Matthew Perry, aged 19, found himself working alongside Valerie Bertinelli on the CBS sitcom Sydney. At that time, Bertinelli was married to rock star Eddie Van Halen and was 10 years Perry's senior. Despite these circumstances, Perry developed a deep infatuation with Bertinelli, fantasizing about a life together, imagining a scenario where she would leave her husband for him. Captivated doesn't cover it. I was downright obsessed, Perry reflects in his book. I would daydream about her choosing me over Eddie, and we'd live happily ever after. The duo once shared a lengthy and intense makeout session while Van Halen was unconscious nearby. Yet, the next day, Bertinelli acted as if nothing had happened, leaving Perry feeling crushed, although he realized she hadn't done anything wrong. However, Bertinelli wasn't the sole A-lister Perry had a romantic encounter with. He shares an amusing anecdote about a clandestine kiss with a then relatively unknown Gwyneth Paltrow in a storage closet in Williamstown, Mass. Additionally, Perry recounts his bold move of asking future Friends co-star Jennifer Aniston on a date, a proposal she declined, suggesting they remain friends instead. It's funny looking back because when Friends started, I realized we had this incredible job and the past didn't matter. We were just grateful to be there, he concludes. He nearly missed out on Chandler's role in Friends. Imagine a reality where Matthew Perry didn't portray Chandler in Friends. It's almost unthinkable, right? Yet, Perry himself disclosed that this scenario was perilously close to happening. During the casting period for Friends, initially named Friends Like Us, Perry found himself bound by a contract to a different television project, LAX 2194. Perry recalls his feelings at that time, stating, "I was heartbroken. Reading the Friends Like Us script felt like they had chronicled my life for a year. I was Chandler." Fortunately for Perry, and ultimately for fans worldwide, LAX 2194 didn't progress to a full series, freeing him up to audition for the role that would define his career. The rest, as they say, became television history. Perry's unexpected remarks regarding Keanu Reeves. In Perry's memoir, his ambiguous sentiments towards Keanu Reeves took many by surprise as he pondered why Reeves continues to thrive while other innovative actors like River Phoenix and Heath Ledger have passed away. Perry expressed, "How come original thinkers such as River Phoenix and Heath Ledger meet untimely deaths, yet Keanu Reeves continues to walk among us?" Perry later clarified that his statements were not a direct jab at Reeves, emphasizing that his comments were misinterpreted. Upon discovering the tragic news of his former colleague, Chris Farley's overdose, he shared a moment of frustration. Learning about Farley's passing led me to damage Jennifer Aniston's dressing room wall. Meanwhile, Keanu Reeves is still here with us. Perry eventually issued an apology for his remarks, stating, "I want to make it clear that I have a lot of admiration for Keanu. I unfortunately picked a name at random and I realize now that it was a mistake. I apologize for that. In retrospect, I should have referred to myself instead." Perry's romance and correspondence with Julia Roberts. Matthew Perry delves into his 6-month romance with Julia Roberts in his memoir, recalling their intense communication through countless faxes and lengthy phone calls before her guest appearance on Friends. Perry admits feeling overwhelmed by dating the stunning and brilliant movie star, fearing she would end things. To avoid the anticipated heartbreak, he chose to break up with her in April 1996. The two initially connected when Friends co-creator Marta Kaufman asked Perry to help persuade Roberts to appear on the show's post-Super Bowl episode. This led to frequent fax exchanges, with Perry eagerly awaiting each message. Despite their on- and off-screen chemistry, Perry's internal struggles led him to end the relationship, feeling he was fundamentally flawed and unlovable. Reflecting on this time, Perry shares a personal moment of watching Roberts win an Oscar for Erin Brockovich while he was in rehab, expressing gratitude for her success and his own survival. Filming Chandler's wedding on Friends while in rehab. In his memoir, Matthew Perry sheds light on the stark contrast between his personal struggles and professional highs during the filming of Friends. Particularly, he highlights season 9 as a pivotal time, being the only season he worked on while completely sober, which also earned him an Emmy nomination. Despite his efforts to conceal his addiction, Jennifer Aniston confronted him, aware of the alcohol scent surrounding him. Perry soon had a sober companion accompany him on set, but his battles led him to reside in a detox center. He vividly recalls the paradox of his life at that time, marrying Monica on the show, a peak moment in both his career and the series, only to be driven back to the treatment center in a sober technician's pickup truck. This moment underscored the duality of his life, experiencing professional euphoria while grappling with personal turmoil. He's poured over $7 million into trying to get sober. Matthew Perry opens up about the financial and emotional toll of his battle with addiction in his memoir, revealing he has spent over $7 million in his quest for sobriety, a figure he later updated to around $9 million. In a New York Times interview, Perry shares the harrowing extent of his struggle. "I've endured a mental institution, participated in therapy twice a week for 30 years, and faced death itself." He also reflects on the costly consequences of his actions while grappling with drug and alcohol addiction. Perry recalls a particularly challenging time on the set of Serving Sarah in 2002, where he was consuming a quart of vodka and drugs daily. "I'd arrive on set, pass out, wake up for a scene, stagger onto the set, then just yell into a camera for 2 minutes," he recounts. His path to recovery included a stint in rehab, resulting in a $650,000 expense to temporarily halt production and re-record most of his dialogue in the film. Despite the cost, Perry saw it as a small price to save my life. He emphasizes his commitment to making amends. "I re-recorded my entire role in the movie to fix my slurred speech and then went above and beyond to do as much press as possible, doing everything in my power to set things right." Perry's near-death experiences. Matthew Perry shares his harrowing journey through addiction and near-death experiences in his candid autobiography. In 2019, Perry faced a critical situation when his colon burst due to opioid overuse, leading to a 7-hour emergency surgery. His condition was so severe that his family was informed he only had a 2% chance of surviving the night, a reality he lived with up until his untimely passing. Despite the odds, Perry survived, but not without consequences. He spent 2 weeks in a coma, followed by a 5-month stay in the hospital, and had to rely on a colostomy bag for 9 months. Reflecting on this time, Perry admits to realizing his greatest fear. He had done this to himself. He has since undergone an additional 14 surgeries. A couple of years later, he once again found himself on the brink of death after lying to his doctors in a rehab facility in Switzerland to obtain hydrocodone, a potent opioid. Perry's heart stopped during a subsequent surgery due to an adverse reaction with anesthesia. He explains, "It wasn't a heart attack, I didn't flatline, but nothing had been beating." His heart was stopped for 5 minutes, and the intense CPR that followed resulted in 8 broken ribs. This incident forced him to withdraw from his role in Adam McKay's Netflix film, Don't Look Up, despite having already completed a scene. Now we'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your most cherished memory of Matthew Perry and his iconic role as Chandler. Drop a comment below to join the conversation.